Chapter 8, 8:32 p.m. Okay, fellow flies, into the bug fire. We zoomed crazily around the outside of the huge seeming bug fire until we spotted a door. Inside we saw a blurry, strange colored shape of human controllers. We buzzed inside. I count 5 people, Rachel said. Just what we expected, I said, trying to sound confident, hoping everyone stay calm. But I was tense, I was on edge. This is the spur of one thought up into a guy who had jungle hallucinations, a desperate, possibly stupid plan. I didn't know for sure he'd end up with Tobias dead, maybe the rest of us too, but he was still been playing a major role. Tobias, you ready? Anytime you say, Jake. Once around the room, that's it, I warned him. You're the boss. Okay, now. Outside above the grocery store Tobias been getting out to, which incredibly did go in the cool night air. Hawks are not night birds, but he flapped his way up, kind of keep sighting a bright hole in the grocery store roof. Here I come, he yelled. He plunged and mashed his feet straight for the hole in the roof. I'm inside. I could tell because there was shouting and yelling, orders being barked out, and then, bam, gunfire, they were shooting at him. These guys couldn't hit. Yikes, that was close. The plane covered Tobias been a distraction. The Earths knew we used bird more, so they know the hawk didn't belong flying around a store. They put 2 and 2 together, they know he wasn't a real hawk. Someone's firing a machine gun, you know, my vague fly hearing hear sound shaking out with noise. Hundreds of rounds being fired inside a store. The human voice shouted something like, get out here and help as Andalite bandit and morph. That's what I thought we were, Andalites. I ignited inside a buckfire piling out of the egg as I glad to have a chance to take shots at Andalite bandits. That's enough, Tobias. Bail out of there, I yelled. Axe morph, everyone morph, now. Can't get out, Tobias cried. A guy on the roof is shooting down through the hole. Of course, why didn't I think of that? Of course they block his escape. I was still mostly flying, morphing as fast as I could, physical getting bigger. See, fly wings shriveling away. Tobias couldn't escape, they'd get him. Sooner or later, no matter how fast he flew, they'd get him. An answer, I need an answer. I need to... Tobias, this way, inside the bug fire. That'll draw him after... whoa, well, clip my tail flares. Come inside, I yelled. Whatever you say. My human eyes are just re-emerging and blew through the door. I looked left, and a horrified creature with small scorpion tail... a horrifying creature with small scorpion tail and fly legs and semi-human face, a gigantic proboscis was trying to work the controls with clumsy, soft, fly stick legs. It was axed halfway through morphing. Suddenly the door shut, or in this case the bulkhead simply dimpled and closed up, eliminating the door. They're in the bugfire, Chapman yelled in rage. They're in the bugfire, get them! I was mostly human now, but still at the stage where I wouldn't have wanted to see myself in the mirror. The rest are coming out too. Cassie as fast as normally. As usual, she was checking Tobias for wounds. Axon was fully Andalite once more. Axe, guess I hear, I said, my human mouth returned. Yes, been shake. I had no time to tell him not to call me Prince. These are unusual controls, he admitted. Bap. The bullets routed against the bugfire's outer skin. Heard the grinding sounds of the engine, and coughing when I saw controls turn big earth moves toward us. They're going to ram us, Marco warned. Axe asked tersely. I don't know, Prince Shake. I can try, but it might not work. Just do it, I yelled. There's a whirring noise. Lights came on all over the cockpit. It sounded like a low siren. I found the on switch, Axe said. Great, Marco, send up ice to get the heck out of here, switch. After the ship lifted off from the safely floor, it rose to foot and soared wild side to side, the heavy equipment still coming for us. He turned the fire points on a missing wall. Is that plastic sheeting very strong, Axe asked. Let's find out, I said, and then whoosh. It's like getting kicked in the chest without falling backwards except Axe had 4 legs. The acceleration was incredible. The bugfire rocketed forward, blew through the plastic sheeting. We blew across the parking lot. We arced up toward the dark night sky. We did it, Rachel yelled. Sorry about the acceleration, Axe said. I forgot the humans fall over easily. Just get out of here, Axe, Marco said. We're going to Washington, D.C. and meet the president. Fun. Chapter 9, 8:42 p.m. It is crowded inside the bugfire, especially because Axe takes up a lot of room. But we huddled together and looked over Axe's shoulder as he worked the controls. We looked past Axe out through the transparent panels in front of the bugfire. This ship is difficult to handle, Axe said. The design is strange. Some controls are psychotronic, but others require physical handling. Unfortunately, designed for Texans, they have more hands than I'd like. Can we do anything to help, I asked? Someone should take the weapons station, Axe said. Cool, Marcus said. He leapt forward, but I was closer. I sat in the air beside Axe. His pilot seat wasn't a seat of all, of course. Texans are like huge centipedes, so they can't really sit. Which is good because Axe can't either. But the weapons station is built for Harbinger. They're 7 feet tall and have thick, spiky tails, so they do sit. No way you should handle the weapons, Marcus said. I kick your butt in video games. Yeah, right, in some alternate universe, maybe. Grab the joystick, he suggested. Strange seems actually was a joystick. Made for much bigger hands than mine. 2 buttons were clumsy to reach, but it was a joystick. Maybe I should test the weapon, said Axe. Yes, he said tersely, distracted. We were rising for the atmosphere above the clouds already, could see brief flashes of lights of the city below. Mostly it's clouds and more clouds. We were rising as fast as I thought, and Axe is definitely working to control the ship. Overhead saw nothing in the way and pressed one of the buttons on a joystick. Nothing. He glanced over. That was the safety. The Dracon beam should be armed now. See the screen above you? The red circle is how you aim. Use a combination of moving the joystick, but also use your mind. Marco put his hand on my shoulder. Phasers on full power, said his Captain Picard in English accent. Arm photon torpedoes. If the bull are going to fight, we'll give it one. Make it so. I moved the joystick and watched the target circle track across the screen. There's still nothing but starry sky. That should be safe enough. I squeezed the second button. Twin red beams of light fired forward, converging too far away for me to see. Yes, Marco yelled. Okay, that was cool, I admitted, trying to cackle like an idiot in my first video game. Boys with their toys, Cassie teased gently. Prince Shake said, I must apologize. Why? I did not first realize the Buckfire's cloaking field is not working. It took me a few seconds to track on that. You mean people can see us? The clouds will hide people on the ground, but human radar will observe us. In fact, they already have. Oh, maybe we should get higher. Yes, but we're rising slowly. I don't know why, and there are two objects approaching. Probably just airliners, Rachel said. They're moving at 1.5 times the speed of sound, Max said. Okay, that's not a passenger plane, Marco said. I groaned. Military jets. Okay, it's the Air Force after us. They're good guys on our side. We can't shoot them down. Suddenly, swoosh. Two pale gray jets blew past us, the backwash around the backfire. I can access the radio signals, Axe said, and a second later I heard the voice of one of the pilots. Base control, Bogey is an unknown type. I say again, unknown type. Definitely unknown, another pilot said. Way unknown. We're coming around for another pass. What did Axe? We don't want to get shot down a couple of F-16s. No, Prince Shake, that'd be embarrassing. I believe I know how to increase... Vroom. Suddenly we're out of there, out of the clouds, out of the atmosphere. Yes, this thing can move, Marco exulted. We need to buy this game. We heard a faint crackling noise over radio. Did you see that? Did you see that thing move, Colonel? Did you see that? What the... Then we were out of range, was zooming straight up to our black space. Below us we could see the curvature of the Earth. It was like one of those pictures of shuttle astronauts take up in orbit. This is so beautiful, Cass said. Look at that. You can see daylight coming over the Red Sea. Excuse me, though, I said, but I don't think the Red Sea is exactly on the way to Washington, D.C. Yeah, I guess not, I said, though it's such a wonderful sight, I just didn't want to worry about where we're going. Axe, maybe we should slow down and get a better idea where Washington is, and no, Axe snapped. I was shocked. He's always polite. No, Prince Shake said calmly, we cannot slow down. What's the matter, Cassie asked him. Axe looked at one of the view screens before him. On the screen he saw stars, and the moon came to view a vast gray and white light bulb, and silhouetted against the glowing moon was a shape like some sort of medieval battle axe. The rear half was a two-headed blade, but in the middle like an axe handle issued a long shaft. At the end of the shaft was a triangular head, much like an arrow's point. It was black on black, and if you'd never seen it before and had no idea what it was, you'd know right away it was death. And I had seen it. I knew what it was. The Blade Ship, I whispered. The Blade Ship of Visitor 3. Chapter 10, 8:54 p.m. Visitor 3 had leered the Yeerk invasion of Earth, the only Yeerk in history to take control of an Andalite body. Visitor 3 the only Yeerk with the power to morph. Can we outrun him, I asked Axe? No. Can we outfight him, I asked? My voice is a whisper, my mouth is too dry to work right. He turned his stalk eyes toward me. No, Prince Shake, we may get a lucky shot, but the Blade Ship is very powerful. This is the Blade Ship destroyed our great dome ship. Here he comes, Richard yelled in warning. A red glow illuminated the Blade Ship as he fired his engines came for us. We can try and run, or we can take a chance at a lucky shot, Axe said. He was looking at me, we're all looking at me. I grabbed a joystick, my hand was trembling. I feel lucky, I said. It was a lie, of course. I didn't even feel even slightly lucky, but it sounded good. I caught Marco give me a sardonic smile. He knew I was faking it. I felt Cassie's hand touch my shoulder for encouragement. Hang on, you may be unsteady on your human legs, Axe warned. He threw a Buckfire in a quick tight turn. He was right, once spilled over the Buckfire systems compensated for inertia. Then he really lifted the engines and leaped forward straight for the blade ship. Ready to fire, Axe said. It wasn't a question. Not yet, not yet, not yet, not yet. Wait until now. I slipped the red target sword toward a black diamond head of the blade ship and squeezed the trigger. I kept squeezing. Brilliant Dracon beam stabbed toward the blade ship. At the same instant, the Visitor fired as well. Dracon beam hit Dracon beam. An explosion of light so intense I actually see through my own hand. I see Cassie's teeth inside her head. I was thrown against the ceiling. I fell to the floor and rolled out of control. Rachel landed on top of me, knocking the wind out of me. The Buckfire was spinning. My eyes were filled with balls of light like suns inside my own head. Spinning and spinning. And each turn I was thrown hard. In the Axe, in the Marco. Tobias batted his wings wildly trying to get some control. It's like I'd all been tossed in a washer on spin cycle. With a sickening lurch, the Buckfire came upright. It was the floor again and a ceiling. Through the window there's a plant, the Earth, big and blue and getting closer very fast. We're going down, Rich yelled. Axe, we're going down. He scrambled his hose and made his way to controls. Too fast, we're going down too fast, he said. Look, Tobias cried, over there to the left, we're not alone. Tell me down on the side just a mile away was the bug ship. Not bug ship. Tell me down among us just a mile away was the blade ship, twisting and twirling and falling just like us. Wait, Danica said, sounding more confused and terrified. It's daylight in the Western Hemisphere. Do I care, Margaret yelled? We're going down. It was dawn in the Middle East, now it's daylight in the Western Hemisphere. Suddenly, friction waves and glowing from the nose of the Buckfire is going down. You're going for the atmosphere. Ask, can you pull us out of this? I am slowing our descent. We're slowing down, but I don't think it'll be enough. Great, Marco groaned. At least the blade ship will go down with us, Rachel said. Does that make you feel better, Xena? Marco grated. She actually smiled, a sad, brief one. Not much better, she admitted. 10 seconds impact. 10, 9, 8, flash. I was no longer in a Buckfire, I was square dancing. Giving Rachel a sniffle look as I bowed to her in time with the music. What the flash? 4, 3, hold on. I saw green on green rushing up at me, and then we hit. And for a while, I didn't see anything at all. Chapter 11, Time Unknown. I woke up very suddenly. My head hurt and the screaming noises around me didn't help either. My back hurt too. I was lying on the ground on Mildewed? Mildewed. Okay, I was lying on the ground in mildewed, rotting leaves. Trees towered over me, insanely tall ones. Ferns dipped down to tickle my face. There's a root or something in my back which explained the back pain. But I was alive. I said quickly, that's a spear of pain for my head. Oh man, I groaned. I saw the bug on my lap, a big, giant monster bug. I guess some kind of beetle. It had yellow and black stripes that looked almost like curved antlers. I saw it was 6 inches long, or at least 3. It would have been beautiful if it hadn't been on top of me. Ah! I yelled and brushed it away. With the itchy crawling feeling on my leg. Ants! There were dozens of them clawing at my right shin. I've been asked, you may think I have some sympathy, but no. I slapped my leg till I was sure they were gone. I climbed my feet and felt woozy and confused. Where was I? Where were the others? I looked around. Green everywhere, and I mean everywhere. Divisions, I said to no one. I was in a jungle, I knew that for sure. I'd never been one before, there's no doubt in my mind. Maybe it was the monkeys and birds screeching in the same volume all around me, and the trees that gave it away. Maybe it was the creepers and vines, only the flash of an amazing red and blue bird fleeing for the branches. Maybe it's the fact that beetles really shouldn't be as big as that beetle was. It was jungle, alright. Just like I've been in the weird flashes of experience this afternoon while square dancing. That's what did I murdered, is a square dancing that drove me crazy outside. I decided to yell for the others. Hey, Cassie, Marco. This is my voice had no power. The sound just swallowed by trees and ferns and bushes. Okay. Get a grip, Jake. Try to remember. You're coming down the bug fire. Obviously you crashed. So look for the bug fire. Can't be too far away. I glanced around me, a solid wall of green in every direction. The air was steaming with humidity, and the smell of overly sweet flowers and tropical rot made me feel like I was on some department store perfume counter. I saw a tree, a top had been snapped off. I started walking, trying to get a better angle of the broken tree. I saw a second tree splintering and noticed a tunnel plowed through dense foliage. A tunnel plowed through trees and foliage should lead the bug fire, or the blade ship, I remind myself. The jungle was quieting down a little. There's some fairly crazy screeching up in the tall trees. The animals all sounded annoyed. They probably didn't appreciate a bug fire crashing in their home, and didn't like my looks either. The jungle floor is surprisingly clear. Then at foot level there wasn't much growing, just dead leaves. But at face level there were vines and bushes and ferns all slapped me in the face as I pressed on. Suddenly I came to a clearing. A hole in the canopy where a tree had fallen. Bright sunlight shone over the gap, and it was the very species of plant you could imagine was crowding out sunny spots. It was on face an incredible wall of vegetation. Dozen types of brilliant flowers, mosses so green to seem real. Small vines wrapping around bigger vines wrapping around tree trunks. It was the greenest place on earth, and there were even plants growing out smooth trunks on tall trees. I trudged on back into the shadows of the forest when I looked up and I see the tunnel through the foliage. That's when I started to get really scared. I was in a jungle, and jungle is like forest you can see for hundreds of feet in any direction. Jungle pressed in all around, it's like being buried in green. Marco, Cassie, Rachel yelled, trying to feel the edge of panic. How about Tobias? A voice called in my head. I looked up and saw nothing. I noticed him swimming down, towing on a high branch of a tree. Tobias, I yelled. I waved. Of course, he'd already seen me, but I was masked to leave, so I waved again. His body seemed almost bland, boring context of the jungle. He landed on a rotting, musk-encrusted log. Tobias, the heirs? Everyone's alive. It took a while to find them, though. I think the bugfire must have spun around a few times, tearing through the trees. Cassie on practically on top of a snake. A very big snake. Where are we? I don't know, but I'm pretty sure this ain't home. Come on, follow me. It's not very far. I followed Tobias, pushing and shoving and finding my way through the forest, seemed determined to stop me. I was dripping in sweat and gasping in thick air. And then a clearing. Not a natural one created by a crashed bug fire. Jake, Cassie yelled. She ran over to give me a hug. She had a nice cut in her hand, but she bandaged with a strip torn off her t-shirt. You're alive, Marco observed. For now, he added darkly. I told you you'd be okay, Rachel said. The bug fire is upright, but one whole side looks as if it had been peeled off. You can see right in the inside. The left engine pod was cracked at a sharp angle. Access inside the fire, lower his head appeared through the hole in the fire's side. Prince Jake, I'm glad you're alright. I'm glad I'm alright too. Now, where are we? Where is easy, Cass said. Rainforest. On Africa seeing monkeys with prehensile tails. You know, tails they swing with. Most likely we're in Central or South America, either the Costa Rican forest or Amazon rainforest. I'm betting Amazon, Margaret said proudly. I think bets are where we live long for me to collect on bets. I laughed. You're always such an optimist, Marco. I turned back to Cassie. Amazon rainforest, huh? Like I said, the question of where is easy. Cassie, why do you have the feeling there's something you're not telling me? Remember when I said we were in orbit? I saw it was night in America, but the sun was coming up over the Red Sea? I guess. Well, after we fired the blaze, we were going down, it was daylight here over South America. So he couldn't realize what she's talking about. Actually trying out the bug fire, wrapped his hands on a rag. Thanks to Cassie's observation, it seems pretty clear when we and the blaze ship fired simultaneously and the recon beams intersected, we created called a Sario Rip. A Sario Rip? What's that? We blew a hole in space-time, and we are drawn through that hole. English, please, I warned. Plain English, please. We blown through time, Jake. I said we aren't where we're supposed to be, and we aren't when we're supposed to be either. I stared at her. Did we go forward, back, or are we in the past or the future? Yes, Axe said. It's definitely one of those two choices. He does have a sense of humor. So yeah, time travel. Fun. Chapter 12. 1:22 p.m. again. So, if this is the same day, which we don't know it is, they'd be back about 7-8 hours. So let me just summarize. You're probably in the Amazon rainforest, so you're in our own past or own future, and we have no way to fly this Buckfire out of here. We have no way to know if there's a city or town or even a road here. Look, my friends, anything you want to add? I know it's 1:22 p.m. Max said. I don't know what day or year it is. I have this ability to track time naturally, some kind of internal clock. Useful, but of course Maurice will know what century you're in. Cassie helped her hand like she was in school. The rainforest is full of poisonous snakes, poisonous insects, poisonous plants, and poisonous frogs. Excuse me, Margaret said poisonous frogs? You say poisonous frogs? Plus at least one large predator, the jaguar. Love their cars, Margaret said. Right now we have no food or water, Rachel said helpfully, and no weapons. Why we need weapons? More from the birds and we'll fly out of here. None of us stay more than 2 hours, Cass said realistically. We can't fly more than 20 or 30 miles at best. Maybe 60 per more, for we could be 1,000 miles from nowhere. Besides, Margaret said, only what we're supposed to do, find a town and collect call our families, tell them we're South America. Hey Dad, I'm in Brazil, or maybe Costa Rica, and Kim pick us up. If there even is a town, Rachel said, or if there are even phones. If our parents haven't been born yet or are still alive, we're kind of missing maybe in the year 2000 BC or 10,000 AD. Ax, what's still this serial rip-ass analyte? I mean, is there some way to undo it? Ax didn't answer. Instead, he noticed the stalk eyes turned slowly to his right. We're not alone, he said. I glanced in his direction. Something moved. I got a fleeting impression of a shoulder, arm, and a head. Humanoid. I didn't see it well, but it was watching us. So I said, Tobias. I'm on, he said, opening his wings and flapping away through the trees. As for the serial rip, all I know is what it is. It's a rip in space-time. Yeah, you told us that, Marco said. I think, Youngest said, Prince Jake, we studied the serial rip effect in school, but it was a game later that day, and I was thinking more about the game than class, and also there was this female who distracted me. Marco laughed. Actually, I was too busy flirting with some girl to pay attention to the lesson. He didn't answer, he just said, I don't know exactly whether you can reverse a serial rip. I remember some things, but not everything. I'm thirsty, Rachel said. Whatever else we're going to do, we need to find water and food. Can we fix the Buckfire? We can fly with one engine. The rip skin of the craft is irrelevant as long as we stay in atmosphere and fly slow. But the effects of the serial rip have wiped out software. It's been erased. Can you rewrite the software, Rachel asked. Yes, but it take me 20 years at least. Better and better. Wait, what about happened to Blade's ship? Asked with blank. I saw it going down with this guy said, but I didn't see it crash. So in addition to everything else, we have visit free on a shipload of Harbinger warriors to worry about. Someplace can be some good news. Well, it's still daylight, Margaret said, putting on a big phony grin. When night falls, then we'll be... Jake, duck, Tobias yelled. For once in my life, I didn't stop thinking about it. I ducked and used the idea. I saw the face, I saw the arm, and I saw the spear come right for me. Right for my face. The vision. It was a hallucination. I ducked and the spear went over my head and flew harmlessly into a bush. Tobias left wildly in the air. I shouldn't have been resting by myself. I should have been on the air. I was too weird not to worry about Tobias. I knew that was going to happen, so that spear to carry you through it. I knew. Cassie looked strangely at me. Jake, what are you... 3 people, Tobias interrupted. They look like they might be kids. They're hauling butt out of here, which is what I think we better be doing as well. Why didn't Rachel demand eagerly? We have some kids with spears. Forget the kids I saw. We were 20 minutes third Harbinger to turn for the forest coming this way. We can't leave the Buckfire, Richard, so how's we gonna get out of here? We can't stand and fight 20 Harbinger warriors either, I said. We have to pull back. I glanced over and saw Cassie. She lead retreated spear from the bushes. Long, thin stick. No spearhead on it. It was just sharp stick with sharp end blackened. Doesn't look too deadly, I said. Shook her head. No, you probably can't kill much with a stick unless it's dipped in poison, and we're in the home office of natural poisoned. The local people, I guess they wouldn't waste their time using a weapon that wouldn't work, would they? No, Cass said flatly. Chances are pretty good this is poison tipped. There are poison frogs and plants they use for arrow and spear poison. Very deadly. The Harbinger are definitely not our only problem. Jake, you guys need to move, Tobias warned. He went overhead again. I couldn't see my news up above the jungle canopy. I can't see well enough to go over all the foliage. I think a group of Harbingers getting close by. Decision time. Stay and fight? We lose. Run away? We give the Buckfire our only way home. Axe, is there anything you can take out of the Buckfire and make it impossible for them to fly it? He's staring at his mane as if stalk eyes kept sweeping the forest. Yes, I think I can think of something. Then get to it. Jake, there's no time, Tobias called. I mustn't close to hear me. The foliage is so dense I had no idea where he was. Axe hesitated, not sure to do. The others looked at me. Do it, Axe. Everyone else get out of here. I'm staying with you, Richard protested. I'm not staying. Minimum risk, I snapped. We don't need Axe to handle. There's no point in risking anyone else. I plunged in and green, grabbed Rachel's arm and pulled her along. Cassie and Marco followed me. Jake, Tobias called on. If Axe is not there in 2 minutes, he's not getting out of there. I didn't answer. It's the worst thing about being a so-called leader. The times when you take a risk to someone else's life. You end up dead, it's going to be very hard to explain to my friends. And to myself. Chapter 13. 1:48 p.m. I can't begin to explain what the rainforest is like. To explain, you need to be a poet, a scientist, and a horror writer. All I can say is how it makes you feel. You feel small, tiny, alone, helplessly weak and afraid. You feel heat and suffocating humidity like there's not enough air. Air breaths like sucking air through a straw. You're breathing steam and perfume and the stink of dying, rotting things. The jungle is all around you, pressing on all sides. Wet leaves in your face, creepers seem to reach up to trip you, sharp-edged stalks that cut you. And they're the twin horrors, bugs and thirst. Mosquitoes, gnats, big flies, or flying insects that didn't even have names so followed us in swirling clouds. They descend and attack and disappear for no reason, only attack again later. You stopped eating for a few seconds to find your foot covered in ants or centipedes or beetles or bugs. It helped we were shoeless. The heat sucked every ounce of moisture out of us, so as bad as any desert. You think all the greenery would be water everywhere, but no, the actual ground was dry. All the water was captured in plants. After a while, we followed away through thickets of vines and ferns and bushes and gnats and flies and mosquitoes. We were followed by a serenade of cackles, groans, screams, yelps, insane animal giggles, clicking, scratching, occasional coughing roar at each new species comments on the idiocy of a bunch of suburban kids wandering around in the rainforest. For all I knew, it was taking bets on how long the dumb humans would survive. We pushed 200 yards deeper in the rainforest, so Bugfire heard an uproar behind us. And a light, Harbinger voice bellowed, and a light. The raptor device called out from above. Aki has 6 Harbinger's tail. You happy, Jake? Axeman, look out, behind you! I made a lip so I tasted my own blood. When Animorphs go back from Rachel said, her eyes are blazing. I could have said no. I had reasons to say no. We're in no place facing lousy odds. Besides of all of us, Axe is the fastest being able to escape, but Rachel would just gone anyway. Just 2 of us go, I snapped. Me and you, Rachel. Marco and Cassie stay back. Why are we staying back? Marco asked, outraged. Because we need backup, Marco. I don't know if you understood this or not. Rachel did. She started to morph. I don't know tiger morph as fast as I could. Rachel's already well in her grizzly form, massive shoulders and shaggy brown fur and long curved claws. The sound of Draco means reached us. The jungle land was up in the trees, exploding in a fury of commentary. I hear something large crashing around a bush, but I couldn't see anything, and a rainforest should let you see 5 feet in any direction. I'm ready, Rachel said. Wait for me, I told her. Catch up when you can, she snapped. She lumbered away back to her Buckfire, a huge rolling mass of heavy fur and muscle. I cursed her silently. My body is already covered in orange black fur. I could see all 4s, long yellow fangs through my mouth, long wigged claws through where my fingernails should have been. I felt the tiger's mind. I saw through its eyes. I felt a surge of power, the rush of the tiger's might. He was not home in a tropical forest, kind of place where he belonged. He was the lord of his native turf. But of course in the tiger's native jungles weren't Harbinger, and there was no Visitor 3. I leapt forward following the path she plowed through the bushes. I caught up easily. I belonged in the jungle. The grizzly did not. Rachel was breathing hard. I can't see. Can't find him. Keep hearing noises, but they keep moving. I listen to tiger ears, or I see just bigger than a tiger mind, like the instincts guide me. There's how can you to follow sounds in the rainforest? Come on, Rachel said. Plunged forward and near the last sounds, but I realized she couldn't get up. I really ticked off right then for being so impulsive, the device acting like I wanted to put Rax in danger, and the Yerks were causing us to the jungle, and worse of all, me. I made mistakes, too many, and now to choose. Stay with Rachel, rush ahead and find the axe. Help came from the sky. Left about 50 feet, Jake, Tobias called down to me. I was mad at Tobias, not so mad I ignore him. I charged left, sinking wildly for the bush. Jake, look out, there's one right. Rah! The Harbinger yelled triumphantly. He swung a blade arm at me and sliced through ferns and bushes like a lawnmower going through grass. His little blade missed me by inches. I felt the breeze from it. I knew what to do. I fired a cold muscle in my hind legs and flew. In midair I sent my paws, each as wide as a frying pan, I pinned the claws. And then I roared. The sound actually silenced the monkeys and birds. I had the Harbinger and he went down, swinging fast but too slow. Their fastness comes close in worse, slashing and parrying and applying teeth. The tiger's faster and nastier. He slashed with pain and reared my right shoulder. I slashed and heard him cry out. His snake head jerked fastening from his forehead blades in my face. I ducked and dove, instantly my teeth into his neck. So I heard the sound of a bear's pain roar. Heard crashing, thudding sounds. I pulled back the deadly blade 7-foot Harbinger lying on the jungle floor, moaning in pain. For a second I felt pity. Harbinger raced and slayed by Yerks. This warrior didn't ask to be here, bleeding for a dozen wounds in an alien jungle a billion miles from home. But I didn't ask to be here either. I listened for sounds of axe. Nothing. Harbinger? Nothing. Rachel? Nothing. He like disappeared in the green. Greener I looked, and then a sharp pain in my left paw. I looked at Harbinger, but then no, he hadn't moved. I realized I was falling over, just falling over. Simply falling over. I caught my eye, saw a snake slithering off. It was bright yellow. Demorph, I told myself. Demorph. My head was swimming. The green was closing in, burying me in green. A bird landed beside me. I could see that. Jake, morph back, man. Morph back. I was trying to remember what I was supposed to become, and then flash. I was long home from school, me and Marco. We were talking, wondering where Tobias went. His saucy voice in our heads saying, Flash. His voice was saying, that's it, Jake. Come on, keep at it. I could see my hand stretching out in front of me in a hand. They were half human, half tiger. Could I morph away from poison? Would the morphine get out of my system? Should have asked Axe to berate myself, but I was already learning the answer. Became more human for the poison weaken. Come on, Jake, come on, Tobias said. There's no time. What is it? More Harbinger asked him. I had a mouth again. No, it's Rachel. If my heart missed several beats, I climbed up rickety from a quick change. I felt like throwing up. Maybe it's the poison. Maybe it's too much happening at once. Where is she? I asked. Straight behind you, maybe 100 feet. Hurry, I'll see what's happening. He flapped away, leaving me alone, barefoot and vulnerable in the rainforest. I found Rachel falling damage she'd done. 3 million Free Harbinger lay unconscious or worse. I didn't have time to worry about them. But that's when I saw Rachel. She was out cold still in Grizzlymore. She had been cut badly by Harbinger blades. She was lying there on her side bleeding, but that's not made me want to scream. Her fur was alive with 1 million ants already ripping away 1 million tiny bites from her wounded flesh. Nothing stays still in the rainforest for long, that's for sure. Chapter 14, 2:30 p.m. Rachel, I yelled, wake up! Jake, stop shouting, Tobias from above. Harbinger will be all around here. I can't see for this undergrowth. I threw myself down next to Rachel and started swatting the ants, but instead of getting rid of them, they just swarmed across my hands. They had to be 10,000 ants. Rachel had fallen almost on top of their mound. I could see him carrying away tiny pieces of bloody bear flesh. Do you notice any water near? I asked Tobias. There's a stream, but it's too far. Jake, she weighs hundreds of pounds. What are you going to do, carry her to the water? I could see her bare chest rising and falling. She's breathing and alive. I kicked her hard. Wake up, I hissed. Come on, Rachel, wake up. The ants are getting at her ears, and I swung over her closed eyes. I wanted to scream and cry, but I don't think I ever felt so totally helpless. I swear the ants are the biggest recurring villain mysteries outside of the Yerk. Honestly, yeah. If they're not physically there, they're at least in our nightmares. Rachel's out cold. The thousands of soaring ants would make sure she never woke up. They killed the bear before Rachel could morph out. They eat her eyes and crawl in her head, and there was nothing I could do. Tobias, more ants. Find more ants. Are you nuts? Do it, I yelled, not caring for her. Man, I need another colony of ants. He clicked. I could see a fierce eyes grow wider. He flapped away, staying low to the ground as he could. He circled tightly and then flared to kill his speed. Here, he yelled. And I wanted her to move in the bushes. I saw 2 wolves, very out of place wolves, until Trace sticking out of the brush. Cassie, Marco, that is you two, right? When closer, I could see a bit in the fight. There were cuts and blood again demorph. Oh my god, Cassie, when she saw Rachel and realized what was happening. I didn't have time to explain. I bit down again, getting out tufts of bloody grizzly fur. What are you doing? Leave her alone, Marco yelled. I saw her handfuls of bloody fur raced toward a spot where Tobias waited. He was resting on a strong fur and looking down at the soaring mound of ants. I took a small sample of grizzly fur and laid it right beside the mound. The reaction was instantaneous. Hundreds of ants swarmed across the bloody fur. I used another tuft of fur to lift a handful of ants, and I walked a few feet toward Rachel and dropped it. I repeated the process, getting closer and closer, as worried they might lose a scent, but they seemed to be keeping up, even racing ahead. Slowly but surely I led them to Rachel. Cassie and Marco are human. They look as I probably look, scared, horrified, and vulnerable. We have to get them off of her, Cassie cried. She saw me. They're inside her ears. They're in her mouth. They're going to kill her. I know. I dropped my last blood-soaked tuft of fur. If this didn't work, Rachel's finished. So I decided to put my arm around Cassie. The new colony of ants followed the trail I'd left them. There's the most hesitation, so the entire rampaging colony paused on seeing the bear. But then, like the well-trained army they were, they attacked. 10,000 new ants stormed to Rachel's unconscious body. They slammed a wall of ants in the first colony. I've been an ant. I see how different colonies get along. I hope they'd act the same here. And they did. It's like some old Civil War battle. 2 armies charge at each other, perfect at being automatons fighting only to smell and instinct. They attacked each other, ants stormed over out of Rachel's ears and mouth, ready for the battle. That was a good thinking, Jake said, but sooner or later one colony will win. When I told Rachel regains consciousness before then, I said, the enemy armies of ants about fierce, so you wouldn't look much to most people. I bit ants, and I saw idea of the awesome slaughter going on in the fur of the grizzly. Down here, ants are being torn apart by other ants, literally torn apart. Legs ripped out, heads bitten off, stinging poison sprayed. The battle was turning the challengers' mouths too far away. They weren't able to call up enough reinforcements. In a few minutes, the desperate ant war would be over. But while they fought, they didn't tear on Rachel's flesh, and then, I'm covered in ants! Rachel, it's me, Jake. Morph out and get ready to run. She didn't have to be told twice. She's starting to demorph. She shrank, and peaked flesh replaced fur. Massive shoulders and huge paws and smaller human features. Ugh, she cried, shutting a human mouth. Ugh! Rachel, get up. Follow me, I said to her. Tobias, where's that stream? Tobias rose up and I flew swiftly toward the trees, and I followed, crashing over bushes, my bare feet torn, tripping. It was no more than 100 feet, but it felt like a mile. Rachel was screaming now. She was the bravest person I knew, but thousands of vicious ants are going to attack her now that they're done attacking each other, and no one can stand that. No one can stand that. Get off me! Oh no, they're in my... But suddenly there's no more green. A muddy stream. I leaped for the water. Ploosh. I heard the water beside me. Ploosh. I swam toward her. She was still underwater. The water was too murky for me to see her while I saw her flailing limbs, and then floating above us. Ants are floating to the surface of the water, being carried away by the current, and then sploosh, she came up gasping air. Are you okay? I asked her. She turned confused her once she recognized me. She spotted Margaret and Cassie and making a stream. Get out of the water, Cassie screamed. I grabbed her arm and dragged her toward the bank. I pushed her ahead of me, slipping and sliding up through the muddy grass. I was pulling my feet out of the water. I saw a churning, frothing commotion Cassie had seen first. I my feet away inches above the school of flesh-eating Piranaha. This is the rainforest, Rachel remained angry, spitting water and calling for her hair from remaining ants. This is the rainforest everyone wants to save? Ants and piranha and snakes and bugs the size of rats? So far as I'm starting, you can burn it down, paper, put up malls and convenience stores. I sat staring at Pirata. They say a school prawn can strip a cow down to nothing but bones in a few minutes. Thinking right then about what else happened, shaking and panting, wanting to cry. I agree with Rachel. Yep, that nearly happened. Incidentally, that fact is not true. That did happen. There was a bunch of prawns that did in fact strip a cow down in minutes, but that was because they specifically starved those prawns so it'd be more of a show when someone was watching it, so it'd look more dramatic. Basically, they can do that, but they normally won't. Normally, they take their time. They wouldn't just devour you in minutes. But that is what kind of got into public perception. It still wouldn't have been good for Rachel, I'll say that, but they wouldn't have instantly swarmed and ripped away her legs or anything. I imagine she'd survive to get to shore at least, but it certainly wouldn't be pleasant either way.